Resident Evil 2, considered one of, if not the best in its series, even one of the best survival horror games of all time. Well, what do I think of this game? I'm V, the Pizza Boy, and today I'm going to be talking about the first time I ever played Resident Evil 2. So, I'm actually pretty familiar with this game. Let me take you back to when I was pretty young. The only consoles I had were an N64 and a Dreamcast, and I would occasionally play the original Xbox at my grandparents' house. I was aware of all the games my family owned, and had thought I played all of them at least once. However, I remember one day going through a cupboard that contained some CDs my family owned. As I was going through it, a graphic cover caught my eye. I saw long, threatening fingers, a bloodshot eye, and a decaying, bloody mouth. I directed my attention to the center of the case, and in big, bolded letters it read, Resident Evil 2. I noticed my dad looming in the distance and asked what the mysterious game was. He simply scolded me for picking it up and said I couldn't play it because it was too scary for me. I flipped it over and examined the back as my imagination went wild. My parents really didn't restrict what I played when I was younger. In fact, I grew up playing games like Halo. To see something that I couldn't play added an air of wonder. What could this game possibly hold that my dad had decided to hide it from me and my siblings? However, I didn't play the game then. I listened to my dad and simply put the game back on the shelf. It would remain forgotten for years, as my Dreamcast would eventually break, and all of my games for the system would remain there and collect dust, as I had no way of playing them. However, around 6 or so years later, my brother and I decided to buy another Dreamcast. We had a blast playing our old games like Shenmue, Power Stone 2, and Crazy Taxis 1 and 2. We would play them whenever we had time. One day, I had a fever and had to go home early from school. The next couple of days, I'd stay home sick because of it. One day, I was looking through my Dreamcast games and found Resident Evil 2 again. I had remembered the exchange I had with my dad years prior and was still unsure what the game had to offer. I took the game and ran upstairs from my basement to ask him permission to play the game. With some hesitation, he said it was okay. I ran back downstairs and popped the disc into my Dreamcast. I vaguely remember what happened next. I think I played as Leon as I tried to wrap my head around the foreign control scheme. If you didn't already know, the game uses tank controls, which basically means you steer your character through the environments, rather than control being dependent on the camera. This means that forwards will always move your character forwards. I was pretty young at the time, so I stopped playing when I reached the police station. I would frequently visit GameFAQs to find a walkthrough of the game, as the beginning was just too complex for me. However, as the game progressed, I started to fall in love with the characters. The story started to revolve around them, and I thought it was amazing. I really got sucked into the game and it became more linear in its later stages, as I was able to figure out everything by myself. After a long 6 hours, I'd finally beaten the game, and then I remember being completely shocked when I found out that there's an entirely new scenario with Claire's campaign. I played through both of them and played the game all over again, since you can play as Claire first and then Leon, which is also considered canon. After playing for a while, I started to look into the series. I found out about Resident Evil 1.5, tried a lot of other games, found new YouTube channels, and even started to be less scared of things in general. In conclusion, I don't think I can make a full review of this game right now. In fact, this started as a review, but I just kept reminiscing to a point that it started to become unfair. When I first played the game, I even played with infinite ammo because of how scared I was. And even then, I still struggled to beat the game. However, expect a full review in the near future. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm sorry it's been so long since my last video. I was planning on making a video weeks ago, but it required another person, and we had to constantly reschedule to a point where I just decided to make this video. I know this isn't a traditional review, but I wanted to make a spoopy video for Halloween, and I don't really have time to sit down and beat the game 4 times before then. So this will have to do for now, but expect a full review very soon. If you watched this far into the video and want to show some support, just go down to the comments and type pizza. It'll mean a lot more than you think. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.